Rightio team, so the summer bike, the Moto Guzzi V7 Stone. Yeah, I'm pretty chuffed to have this in the garage for the summer. She is a gorgeous wee bike. I love the headlight, love the colour too, and I love the fact she came with pannier racks because that's going to be handy as. But as we should, me being a somewhat content creator and all, we'll create some content with it. So we'll call this the first impressions ride. Obviously I've ridden this bike a lot before. I've had it for about a week, and I've ridden the V7 Special. If you want to see an actual review of one of these, I'll put a link up in the somewhere up the top here, so you can go watch the V7 Special review, which is essentially the same bike with a few minor changes. Righto, we'll thumb the starter. Immediately you get a bit of that transverse rock. So you gotta love the Guzzis for that. They're so characterful. Now, this is not an adventure bike, obviously. She's a modern classic. So, not really meant to be riding her off-road, let's be fair. But she'll do it. These bikes will go anywhere. So, one of the main reasons I decided to go with the Guzzi for the summer, and I know I just said Guzzi, and I know it's going to upset purists, but I'm a Kiwi, and it's ingrained in our culture to mispronounce stuff. But the reason I went with this for the summer was because it's a nice mellow bike. So I've been riding a speed triple for the last couple of months, and while I absolutely adore that bike, it is so much fun, it also brings out your naughty side, and it wants you to be naughty. And quite frankly, I didn't think that was a very good idea going into the summer, when the road conditions get slippery because the tar heats up, and when the police are out in force trying to ping you for going 1 kilometre over the speed limit, let alone the countless kilometres over the speed limit that the speed triple wants to do. So we jumped on the Guz. This bike in particular, it's done a whole tour of the South Island. It's got a few scratches here and there, some of which I have to own up that I put in there on the second day I had it. So she's not a show pony, this bike. She's a good, honest little modern classic, and I think that's one of the other reasons I was so attracted to it. Apart from the fact that I know the Guz is a nice, easy to ride bike, and nice and mellow, which is what I wanted. But it had been sitting in the warehouse for months. I've been looking at it, and I was going, oh, that little thing needs a bit of love, it needs a ride. It had somewhat been forgotten. And while I really do love the Triumphs, I love a whole lot of adventure bikes and everything, for what I want to achieve this summer, this bike fits the bill perfectly. So shaft drive, 65 horsepower peak power, but there's a lot I really was attracted to by this. So the fact that it's got the panniers and the pannier racks, that means I can hook cameras up really easily. I've got the Insta360 on the back now, which is sitting quite nicely with a zip tie and its standard little clamp mount. Got the pannier bags. I can just toss my swag on the back, toss a box of beers and a little bit of food in, and go moto camping if I get the opportunity. To me, this bike says potential. And one thing it's got going for it that its Triumph contemporaries don't is this massive 21 litre fuel tank. That's adventure bike size fuel tank on a modern classic, which again, really, really cool. It's got a huge fuel range. Whereas the bike that I've been lusting over for most of this year, and I was hoping to buy one, but finances just haven't lined up was the Triumph Street Twin, or the Speed Twin 900. That's got a 12-litre tank by comparison. The Moto Guzzi it's a bike that really does endear itself to you. All of 300k on this bike so far, and I'm just loving it. It's such a gorgeous wee bike. It's just easy, jump on, really low seat height, can touch the ground easily. My wife took one look at it and said, oh, I wouldn't mind riding on that, so now I've bought her a helmet. So yeah, we'll be doing some 2-up riding at some point. Just a gorgeous wee bike. Right, I suppose I should try and say some negative things, because this has been quite a gushing first impressions video so far. Foot pegs, and where you have your feet. I've melted my boots on the exhaust just because if you start putting your feet, the balls of your feet on the pegs and riding constantly, you inadvertently start resting your heels on the exhaust seat shields, which, being exhaust, get worn. So that is a thing to watch out for. I've mentally sort of just started saying, alright, don't go on the balls of your feet. This is a cruisy bike, it's not a sports bike. Just take it easy. Ground clearance, like I said before, mentally I'm still working that out. It'll lean quite heavily. It's just between that and the pretty basic suspension, you don't really want to be attacking corners on a bike like this. It's more a jump on, enjoy the ride kind of thing. No fuel gauge. That's probably one of my biggest pet peeves, especially in 2024. Shouldn't be that hard, but massive fuel tank. So yeah, you got a 4-litre reserve on this thing, which will easily do you another 100k once the fuel light comes on, sort of thing. What else can I say? Not much really. So just going past the Carapero domain. There's some big event going on at the moment with people that like to row boats. So I think we'll leave it there. We're about to head back into Cambridge. I want to give this bike a nice wash, go grab some brekkie, and start fantasizing about the next things I'm going to do on this bike, because I am absolutely stoked to have this for the summer. I can't wait to ride it more. I'll film as much as I can, but also I'm pretty much inclined to not film everything this time round, because this bike is, part of the reason I chose this bike is as a pure enjoyment factor for me. I know it's probably not going to be the most popular bike on the channel in terms of content, and frankly I don't care. I got a bike that makes me happy, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this thing while I have it. And who knows, maybe even I will convince the bosses to let me keep it even longer than the summer. We'll see how we go. So that's the first impressions on the Moto Guzzi V7 Stone. I'm quite in love with this little bike. So we'll see how the love affair continues over the summer. So as always, thanks for watching, especially if you got this far into my ramblings. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Give us a like. Comment, what are your thoughts on the Moto Guzzi V7? Do you think I'm going to enjoy this as a summer ride? Hit me up in the comments. And once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next ride.